is Alan C. He's chairman of social media. You have the floor, sir.
So the mind can only absorb what the bottom can endure. It looks like you've reached the end of the line. All right, my intention was to introduce Drew, who has been hired by National to be the marketing manager and PR person at that national level, who will become, once he starts to become more onboarded than he has been. He's only been here a month or so, but he will become a major focal point for the communications committee. If you were a part of the communications presentation yesterday, you probably heard that it was a little bit lively, and it became a little bit lively because of social media. So the key to membership growth, and not just membership growth, but you all want more traffic to your websites, to your Facebook pages, to your YouTube channel. You're wanting more likes, more shares, more visibility, more eyeballs. Well, the key to all of that is to be found, to find, and to engage. To be found, to find, and engage. And we're going to lightly touch on that. Oh, would you look at that? Ah, made you look, didn't I? And I did that in about 2 seconds, which is good because, according to a study by Microsoft, the average American has an attention span of about 8 seconds. 8 seconds. If I haven't caught your attention in 8 seconds, I'm not going to read that brochure. I'm not going to look at that poster. I'm just not going to. And I'm sorry, but we live in a microwave world. And that is the attention span of the people in this audience. That's the attention span of the markets you're trying to reach, whether that's a SAR member, a potential SAR member, a member of CAR, the parents of CAR, an educator, the press, the media. Short attention spans. They're not going to let you sit there and give them the time of day. To be found means Google. How do you look up stuff today? I mean, if you tell me you look through the yellow pages, good luck, because I at one point was a yellow page CMO, and I can tell you, they went from being the kind of books that you set your toddler on to being paper thin brochures. You're not using the yellow pages. Series is tied into Google. Okay, so it's Google. All right. So earlier this year, when I first took on this role, which, by the way, did I introduce myself?
Nope.
Okay. I'm Alan C. I'm a member of the Richard Montgomery chapter out of Dayton, Ohio. I am the new chairman to the new position of social media, so a position that has not existed at all. The president of my chapter and a future state Ohio president, Steve, is here. He's here to keep me in line and to keep me calm, because you won't be able to tell that I get pretty passionate about this subject. I was an early adopter of LinkedIn. In fact, in 2002, I was a member of the beta group, one of the first 100,000 people to even be on that. I was early on Twitter when it was first released at South by Southwest in 2006. So I've grown up with social media and learned to make a living from it. So I get quite serious about it. I sent a survey around to you guys, state presidents, and asked for information. I asked, tell me all your chapters. Do they have a website? Do they have a Facebook page? Do they use Twitter? Do they have a YouTube channel? And I got back 27 responses, 27 states, representing about 250 chapters. So is that what, we got 500 chapters now today? So my sample size is about half. Let me tell you, it doesn't look good. Yeah, 66% have websites, 39% have Facebook pages, 2% on Twitter, less than 1% on YouTube. That means you guys aren't producing very many videos, because YouTube is pretty much a video channel, and right now, in order to capture somebody in 8 seconds, you really need to be thinking strongly about video. So these responses doesn't bode well for where we are today. I said the power of Google. Now, I'm not going to tell you I know everything there is to know about social media and that you should definitely follow my plan. You're all independent states. As far as I know, we still live in a free country. So you're definitely free to go off and go in whichever direction you want to go. What I am going to show you is the results the Richard Montgomery chapter has got. And God bless Steve, because 6 years ago when I first became a member, he said, and I said, hey, I'd like to build the website. I'd like to start getting us involved in social media. And Steve went, charge ahead, go for it. And so I did. If you plug in Sons of the American Revolution, Dayton, Ohio, this is page 1 organic results, meaning above the folder, meaning we couldn't pay Google enough for Google AdWords to get those kind of results. If somebody puts in Sons of the American Revolution, Dayton, Ohio, Richard Montgomery chapter stuff is the first thing they're going to see. When you do a search on Siri or whatever, you go past the ads, right? The people are paying for the ads. You go right to what's the first organic, meaning the first stuff that just comes up after advertising. What are those results? We couldn't buy results as good, but we didn't get this overnight. Remember, I told you I started 6 years ago and we've been building towards this. What about your personal brands? The brand called you. The brand called you. The brand called Alan C. with SAR after it. That's page 1, organic results. You just take presidents. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, am I going to lead by example? Am I going to be a servant leader? Am I going to, when I yell charge, am I going to be at the front of the pack? Or am I going to be more like the chess player who stands back, maneuvers the pieces and hope I get the results that I want? Now, I just heard for the first time, because this is my first Council of President meeting, all the paperwork and rigmarole you guys have to go through and learn. Oh my God. This is exactly why when Steve was like, I'd really like for you to be a VP and then step in and take my role because I'm going to be going up to the state. I went, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I get it. You've got a lot on your plate, and now I'm saying you're going to have to lead by example. You're going to have to get out there on Facebook, because when you are looking for the Alan C. of your chapter, of your state, you're going to need to find somebody who's passionate, who's already plugged in, who knows how these platforms work, and is a SAR member, and you're going to have to go from there. But I can tell you, it was quite discouraging to watch this room empty out, and I'm last on the ticket. This is already telling me at the national level the priority and interest level of this new media for getting people's attention. But I work with the American Legion and a lot of organizations that are in this 503 Class C, and they all tell me, oh, but we're different. You know, I wish I had a client or customer. I wish I had $1 for every client or customer that would tell me, oh, we're different. No, you're not different. But what is hard is change, and change is hard for everybody. But if we don't change, we're not going to get there. There's a document that's going to be emailed to you. It is a document on social media policy and procedures. Now, it doesn't cure cancer or global warming, but it's a starting place. It's 4 or 5 pages long, but it's going to outline all the footprint that at the national level where we have Facebook pages and Twitter and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. It's also to give a recommendation for what chapters and states should be focusing on. Now, I know just looking at this document, there's still a lot to learn, but this document is at least a start. But what I wanted to say about this is that every person who's presented it to you today, they want your attention. They want your attention. Well, at the national level, we already have 7 Facebook pages and 2 groups that want your attention. And these Facebook pages and groups are all going for the same audience. You're going for an audience that's interested in the American Revolution. So let's not make any more Facebook pages at the national level. Surely, if you've got a great idea on a new thing, the content meaning whether it's podcasts or whether it's video movies or whether it's pictures or whatever it might be, surely that content can fit already under one of these established national pages. I just don't, I get it. When you come up with a new idea, you're thinking, great, let's create a website for it. Great, let's create a Facebook page for it. Great, it needs Twitter. We can't even get the masses here. Now we just diluting our efforts. So my recommendation, let's at that national level, let's not do any more of that. This is the document that's going to be sent to you. Please read it. Create your personal social media profiles. I'm going to challenge you to get out there and do it. find your chapter talent. Ask the questions. You know, who here is already on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter? Who really, you know, would like to be able to do this? You're going to need to find that person who has a passion. And I'm going to tell you, they need to have that passion, because just like at the New Year's, you go, I'm going to lose weight, go to the gym every day, and January, memberships go up, and you can't even get on the machine you want. And then mid-February, what happens? Yeah, it starts dying off. And then by March, it's crickets. It's empty. A lot of times, you're going to find that person who, after time, they're like, I'm tired of tweeting. Facebook doesn't seem to like me up, anymore. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good. In 2002, when I was one of the first on LinkedIn and the first on Twitter and stuff like that, I figured out how to make a living of it. And I said, I'm not letting go of this. This is the future of communication. This is how you will get the word out. This is how you will address your audiences, because this is where the eyeballs are. This is where the eyeballs are. So with that, again, the mind can only absorb what the bottom can endure. I did this pretty fast, but I think there's still even one more person to go, right? Okay, questions?
Alan, Steve Taylor, Connecticut. This is awesome, and I think it's definitely where we need to go. With the new manual that's coming out on how to do everything, are we still using hashtags? Because the old manual, and I guarantee about 90% were not using their pictures properly on social media, where we wanted to do hashtag social or hashtag SAR patriotism, SAR new member, those kind of things. Is that still going to be in there, or are we moving away from the hashtags?
So I have not seen that document, but my recommendation would not to be moving away from hashtags. Hashtags in the form of search. You go to Twitter, you go to Facebook, you go to LinkedIn, and you put in the hashtags patriotism. Well, you're going to instantly see real time who's talking about patriotism at that point. That's valuable. And it would be really valuable if our stuff, our content, our pages, your pages, are the things that are coming up first. Let's say a media consultant, a reporter, we got Constitution Day coming up, and they're like, Constitution Day, I wonder who in our area talks about that. Oh, I just showed you the power of Google. I can tell you the Richard Montgomery chapter is going to show up, because I'm creating content around Patriots Day, around Veterans Day, around Reese Across America, around Honor Flight. We're going to show up in those searches, but we're using the hashtags, we're creating the content, and we want to be found. Be found, find, engage.